Bet. Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Brother Nashan, New Wine Congregation of Israel, coming back at you with another edition of Law School. All right. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is who the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai is who the world calls Jesus. All right. So, first and foremost, all honor and glory to the Most High God and His Son. It's in His name, Yahweh Shai's name, that we do everything that we do, right? That we do these classes to do, Lord willing, edify the nation of Israel. All right, so let's jump right into it. We're going to jump into Genesis chapter 10. All right, dealing with the table of nations. Okay, let me share my screen real quick. All right, it's only going to let me share one at a time. That's fine. I don't know what that is. Anybody know why it's doing that? Only letting me share one of my screens. Let me know, man. Put it in the chat. I greatly appreciate it, because that's kind of making stuff a little bit more difficult than I want it to be. But anyway, all praises to the Most High nonetheless. All right, so like I said, Genesis 9 dealt with the covenant. All right, the covenant between the Most High God and mankind. All right, the rainbow, if you understand. The Most High promised that He'd never make it flood on the earth like that again. All right. Matter of fact, it's the screen that y'all see. Let me just go ahead and put it KJVA up here. All right. That's what I mean. Got to switch. Share this one. Do that. All that is all right, though. Yeah. But anyway, the covenant between mankind and the Most High, dealing with the rainbow, all right, promising that He would never flood the earth again. All right. And then He instructed Noah and his sons to go out and be fruitful and multiply. And after that, He instructed, that's when you read about Ham going in, staring at his father's nakedness, and Canaan being cursed as a result of that. All right. Canaan being cursed as a result of that. All right. So Genesis 10 is dealing with the generations of the sons of Noah, as you can see at the top. All right. So we're going to jump right into it. All right. Let's go. It says Genesis 10 and verse 1. It says, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. So your generation automatically comes from who your father is. All right. Your lineage and your pedigree is determined by who your father is. That's why it's talking about the sons. It ain't talking about their moms or the sisters and then like that. It's talking about their sons, because that's who we come from, our father. The man carries the seed. Hey, matter of fact, let me get a quick reset. Right quick. Just thought about it. Children are the glory of their father. All right, let's go to Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 17 and verse number 6. All right, it says here, children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. The glory of children are their fathers. All right, because your father determines who you are as a child. You got your father's blood pumping through your veins. All right. So those are his children. All right. The children that come into the world come from the man, and they are formed in the womb. Okay. It's a difference. They come from the man and they are formed in their mother's womb. All right. So let's go back. You know, I gotta say that. You might be like, well, why are you saying that? I gotta say that because in today's world, it's all this honor and glory given to the moms, like them make that man's kids. All right, but that couldn't be further from the truth. All right, so it says these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. So no matter who you are in the world today, you come from one of those three men. All right, so let's get into it. It says the sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai. Madai is where the Medes come from. All right, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshesh, and Tyrus. All right, it says, and the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Tagamah. Now you may notice off the rip, there's a lot of times names in the Bible get used over and over again. All right. Yeah, names in the Bible get used over and over again. Like Tubal, you got Tubal Cain. All right. As also Ashkenaz. All right. Esau has a descendant named Ashkenaz. Okay. Let me get that in. Let me see. Oh, Salaki. I'm thinking about Kenaz. I'm thinking about Kenaz. Salaki. I'm thinking about Kenaz. Right? But Ashkenaz and Riphath and Togarmah. All right. It says, and the sons of Javan. So we're reading about the sons of Japheth right now. It says Elisha. It says Tarshish. That's where the word ships of Tarshish come from. Kittim. Kittim is the same as Chittim. All right. So that's that whole region. I'll show you a map. Let me see if I can pull up a map. Table of Nations map. Okay, so this is a good one. So you see Tarshish over here. All right. So when it says ships of Tarshish, that's what it's talking about. Ashkenaz, Japheth would have this whole land. All right. Let me get another image. Let me see. One that's got. There we go. All right. So hopefully you can see that. So Tarshish would be over here. This is Rome. All right. This is Rome with the look like a boot. All right. So Tarshish over here. So this is where people get the concept that Esau comes from Japheth. All right. We'll get into that at another time in another class. But Esau don't come from Japheth. He just inhabited these lands. All right. What you have going on right now is nobody's in their correct land. All right. Everybody's kind of mixed up and joined together. And the Lord don't like that. All right. Let me get that real quick in the book of Isaiah. All right. Isaiah chapter 5, real quick. And I'll come back to the Table of Nations. Go back. Yeah. Isaiah chapter 5 and verse. Let me see. I think it's verse 8. Yeah. It says, woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. All right. So that's what you got going on now. Instead of everybody having their land like the Most High laid it out for them to have. Since the time of Nimrod, you had, and we'll get into that as the lesson goes on. Nimrod comes from Babel. All right, we living now in Babylon the Great. They doing the same thing, joining house to house, putting everybody together in the same place, right? Till they be alone in the earth, in the midst of the earth. All right, so the Lord don't like that. All right, He don't like that at all, right? So let's go back to this table of nations. Table of nations map. The one I had. So, like I said, now you have Esau living up here, but also you got Esau over here. You got Esau in Africa, all right, in the land of Ham. So Esau, he's every damn body now. All right, he the last samurai, he the damn last Mohican, he the African, he the Chinese, he everybody. All right, so everything's all mixed up, and it's because we in the world is being ruled by the wicked. All right, so take a closer look here. You got that's where Tubal would live. Magog, Gomer, that's over in the area of Russia. All right, Asia Minor. Okay, then you got Shem's land, Shinar. This is where, let me see if I can get a little closer. That's as close as it's gonna let me get. But Shinar in Babylon, Erech is where Abraham was living at. All right, over in this region. All right, then you got Uz. All right, Hul, Aram, Ashur, Peleg, Eber. That's where the word Hebrew comes from. All right, Hebrew comes from the word Eber. Okay. Let's see what else. Then you got Ham. This whole place, what we call Africa today, was called the land of Ham or Chem. All right. That's where the word Kemetic comes from. All right. Ham means hot. All right. That's what that word means. All right. So Ham or Chem, which where the word Kemetic, all right, that means hot. That's where that land is. All right. So to put it in perspective for you, this is the plateau of Iran. All right. Then you got Madai, where the Medes come from, Ashkenaz. So the Ashkenazi Jews, they live up and come from this area. That's how they get that name, Ashkenazi. All right. Not because they come from Jaffa, just because they come from the land. All right. So that would be what you would call a denonym. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. A denonym. If I can type, my finger's too big. Demonym. All right. Demonym. Right. So a demonym is a noun used to denote the natives or inhabitants of a particular country, state, city, etc. All right. So it's basically a word to describe a people associated with a place. Okay. Like Jews. All right. Everybody that's a Jew is not from the tribe of Judah, but they're Jews because of the region or part of land that they live in. So that's the same thing with the Ashkenazi Jews. They lived and came from this over here where Russia and all that is. So they got that name. Okay. So let's go back to the Bible. Let's go back to the Bible. This is not being able to share on my screen. It's making it kind of tough for me. Go back here. Gotta figure that out. All right. So let's keep going. So it says, verse 2, the sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, or Javan, and Tubal and Meshach and Tyrus. It says that's where Tyrus comes from, right? And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Targama. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, where the word Chittim comes from. All right. Dodenim, that's where Kittim is, where Alexander the Greek was at. So Kittim is associated with Greece. All right. It says, or Macedonia. All right. It says Dodenim. All right. It says, by these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their land. So the Gentiles are the nations. All right. It says, everyone after his tongue, after their families and their nation. So the Lord, Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, had everybody in a land by their tongue. They had their own, tongue and their, well, we'll get into that later, because when you get into Genesis 11, it let us know the whole earth was of one language, all right, which was Hebrew. It says after their families in their nations, all right. It says, and the sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim. Mizraim is where the word Egypt comes from, all right. Egypt comes from the word Mizraim. Egypt is a Greek word. All right. The original word would have been Mizraim, right? Which means misery, right? Let's go into that word. Mizraim. It sounds like misery, right? Look, you see that? Egyptians. So those are the Egyptians. Land of Copts. But look here, double straits. All right. It's hard, right? Bondage, in other words. So, yeah, adjacent to Palestine, through which the Nile flows. All right, so that's what that word means, Egypt. All right, let's go back. So we got Cush. Now we're dealing with Ham. Ham is your so-called Africans today. The Japhites are your Polynesians. All right, your Samoans, Japanese, not Japanese people. All right, those are those people. All right, the Samoans and such, Minoans. Okay, then you got Ham, who are the Africans today. All right, let me pull this up and try to show it to you and see if I can show it to you real quick. Somebody might not know. All right. So let me see real quick. So y'all can't see it. Y'all can't see it, but anywho, Zondervan Bible Dictionary. All right, that's what I'm gonna read this out of. The Zondervan Bible Dictionary. All right. Matter of fact, man, it's a pain in the behind to keep switching these. But I'm gonna do it for y'all because I love y'all. I want y'all to see it. All right. Ham. All right, bet. So this is what I was gonna show y'all. So Ham, right? Zondervan Bible Dictionary. It says the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor or the father of the dark races, not the Negroes. They already got it highlighted, all right? But the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites, which is in Genesis 10, 6 to 20, which is what we're reading right now. All right, so he's the father of the dark nations, but not of the Negroes. There's a difference between an African and a so-called Negro today. All right, we are not the same people. We dark skinned, but so was everybody on the earth at this time. All right, so then you got Mizraim, Egypt, Foot. All right, and then you got Canaan. All right, and then it says the sons of Cush, Sheba, and Havilah, and Sapta, and Rama, and Saptika, and the sons of Rama, Sheba, and Dedan. It says in Cush, Cush means black. So these were very dark skinned people. Cush means black. They you'll hear Ishmael, you'll hear Israelis pick at us and call us Cushi. All right. Cushi means dark or very black. All right. So these were very dark skinned people. Cush begat Nimrod. Nimrod is a Hamite. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. All right. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, not a hunter that's going and setting rabbit traps. He hunted men. All right. I'm putting a lesson together about that. So, Lord willing, that'll come out soon. It says, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. All right. We get into Nimrod when we get to the next chapter. It says, in the beginning of his kingdom was in Babel. Babel means confusion. All right. So I'm going to do it like I said, because I love y'all. I'm going to go back to this image. Keep that in mind. Babel is confusion. All right. So when we look at this map, where Babylon is, now the Garden of Eden, we talked about this in earlier chapters of Genesis. All right. The Garden of Eden was in Israel. All right. Israel is what's labeled here as the land of Canaan. Israel is this land. All right. That's the Garden of Eden as well. Israel. Right. If you're confused on what I'm talking about, go back and watch the earlier chapters of Law School and Genesis. I went over it in great detail. For the sake of time, I only got an hour. I'm not going to be able to do it in this class. Salakia. But that's what a Garden of Eden is. When Adam got kicked out of the garden, he had to go eastward. So did Cain. He went eastward. Now, what's eastward of the Garden of Eden? Babylon. All right. Confusion. That's why that sword turned every which way, because it was going to be confusion after that. All right. So let's go back. I want to show y'all that real quick. All right. So the beginning of his kingdom was Babel and Erech and Akkad and Calneh in the land of Shinar. All right. So let me go back over here to this map real quick. So you see Nimrod was a Hamite. He was supposed to be over here. He's from Cush, to be in particular. He supposed to been over here. He all over here in the land that Shem supposed to have, Shinar, and making Babylon his kingdom. So that's how you are able to understand he was hunting men. All right. He was hunting men. He wasn't hunting animals. He was a hunter of men. He came over here and took over this land, and that became his kingdom. So the Tower of Babel was over here in Babylon. All right. So let's go back to the Bible. All right. So it says, out of that land went forth Ashur, which is where your Ashur. Let me go into that word, Ashur. Ashur. Yeah, I wanted to say that. Yeah, that's where your Assyrians come from. All right. That's where your Assyrians come from. Now, the Assyrians was a destructive people, a step. All right, that's what that means. The second son of Shem, eponymous ancestor of the Assyrians, the people of Assyria. All right, so that's where they come from. They Africans as well. All right, so let's close that up. So just to put it in perspective, the sons of Ham ruled the world first. All right, after the flood, the sons of Ham ruled the world first. Okay, then you had the Edomites. You had some Japhites rule, and you had Madai, the Medes and the Persians. You had some Japhites ruling, and then you had Edomites ruling, right? Shemites, all right, and Shemites are going to continue to rule when Jacob comes in, because that's who we come from, Shem. All right, so it says, and Rezin between Nineveh and Calah, the same as a great city. All right, it says, and Mizraim begat Ladum and Anamim and Lahabim and Naphtuhim. It says, and Pathrusim and Kazluhim, out of whom came the Philistine, or the Philistines, right? Africans. It says, and Caphatorim, and Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth. All right. It says, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgashites, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite. All these are the nations you read about in Deuteronomy 7 that the Most High told us not to make marriages with. He specifically named those nations, the Hamite nations, that is not to make marriages with them. All right. The Arvadite and the Zemarite and the Hamlethite and afterward were the families of Canaan spread abroad. See, they went everywhere. It says, and the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou comest to Gerar unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah. So when you read about Sodom and Gomorrah, those were Hamites. All right, those were Hamites in Sodom and Gomorrah. It says, and Admah and Zeboim, even unto Lasha. So they had a great, they spread out abroad, like it said. These are the sons of Ham after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, and in their nations. All right. So it's saying tongues because later on they had their own tongue. They all started having their own languages. All right. It says, unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder. It says, even to him were children born. It says, the children of Shem, Elam, which is where your Elamites come from, which are East Africans. All right. Sri Lankans, people who live in East India. I said East Africans, East Indians. All right. East Indians come from Elam. Ashur. All right. And Arphaxad. Now, Arphaxad is the chosen lineage of Shem. Shem was the chosen lineage from Noah. And then from him, it went to Arphaxad. All right. And then it says, and Lud and Aram. It says, and the children of Aram, Uz and Hul and Gether and Mash. And Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begot Eber. Eber is where the word Hebrew comes from. That's where the Iberian Peninsula, Eber, that's the same word. Hebrew, the Iberian Peninsula was inhabited by Hebrews. They call that the Hebrew Peninsula, in other words. All right. That means Hebrew. That's where the word Hebrew comes from. It says, and unto Eber, I want to say Eber means languages. Let me go into it. All right. Let me go into that word real quick. See, when people name their children based on prophecy a lot of times, right? Eber or Heber, the region beyond, all right, is what it says. So, like, it's got a lot of people who had that name, all right? So it says the region beyond. The region beyond. All right. Fair enough. Let's go back. I read it somewhere else where it said it meant languages. All right. It says, and unto Eber were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided. So that's what Peleg means, division. All right. So he lived in the time during Babylon, where the Tower of Babel was constructed and the Most High divided and confused the languages. He lived in that time. All right. For in his days was the earth divided. It says, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almadai and Sheleph and Hazarmaveth and Jerah and Hadaram and Uzal and Diklah and Obal and Abmiel and Sheba. All right. Salaki, I'm pronouncing these names wrong. I'm sure I'm chopping them up. Right. But it says, and Ophir is where the gold is, right? And Havilah and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling was from Mesha, as thou goest unto Sephar, a mount of the east. All right. It says, these are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues, in their land, after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, in their generations, and by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. All right, so that's a rundown of all the table of nations, where everybody on the earth comes from. Everybody on the earth comes from those people, right? Let me get one more precept in the book of Ecclesiastes. All right, there's no new people on the earth. All right, Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 16. There is no end of all the people, even of all the people that have been from them, so they also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this is also is vanity and vexation of the spirit. All right, so there's no end of all the people, and the people that come from them, they're still here. All right, so we can identify who's who, or who comes from, all right, with the Bible and based on the characteristics of those people. All right, so most high willing, you got something out of that, right? That's Genesis Law School chapter 10. All praise and honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, Lord willing, we'll have real-time prophecy on Thursday at 7 o'clock. So look out for that. And then on Sunday, we'll have another class at 7 o'clock as well, right? So it's your brother Nashan, New Wine Congregation of Israel, signing off, man. Kwame Yashala.